Okay guys, if you like the setting I'm gonna talk about right now, be sure to check out Mutant Year Zero. It's a video game that's being produced right now and it's being showed off at GDC, and it is the same world that I'm talking about, but I'm talking about things that happened several hundred years from Year Zero. So Year Zero is a prelude to the setting that I'm gonna talk about, but they are officially intertwined through the role-playing books, which is this is directly ripped from and made a video game on. So if you like the setting, if you like the concept of these characters, be sure to check out the video game. You will not gonna get anything closer because it's the official game for it. So check that out, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So the world has basically gone to shit. No one knows what happened. They just refer to it as the big catastrophe. It's been a few hundred years. If you compare to Year Zero, Mutant Year Zero, which is the video game we're all going to be playing very soon, so excited. It's a couple of hundred years after that. Now it is canonically connected, Mutant Year Zero and Mutant the Heir to the Apocalypse. But this is less fresh. But even so less fresh, it doesn't mean that anything is safe in this world. This is a post-apocalyptic world, very Fallout-esque, and it is dangerous as all hell, and it's filled with mutated animals, humans, robots, and high society people, humans, non-mutated, who think they are better than everybody else. But beyond the horrors and terrors of the big city, there are huge unexplored zones and bunkers where monsters beyond your wildest imagination resides. Now, all of this takes place in Sweden, and I'm gonna talk a bit surfacely about the main capital, how the society structures of all this is made out, and how it is to explore in the zones and the like. Though, that said, I'm going to go a bit more in depth with the races and their place in society on my upcoming videos, so be sure to check those out. But for now, let's just get an overall view on how the world works. So let's jump right in. So if we begin with how the kingdom at all it works. So the way it works is that it's all connected through a union called Pyris Samfundet, which is basically Pyris Union. And it's all ruled by this one emperor, which is of course a human. I'll get into why later. But this whole thing is ruled by an emperor. However, every state and city, so to speak, they all have their own rules and regulations that they follow. For example, some places are a hell of a lot more racist towards mutant than others, but mutants are generally not very well treated. But they all ultimately follow the capital Hindenburg's laws and rules, and the emperor's say is law, so to speak. But yeah, they all have their own power structures and how they run things and do things. So let's get a bit on society and how does it look? How does it feel to live in this world, and what can you expect depending on what race you are? Alright, so let's begin with a simple tier. At the top of the tier we have non-mutated humans. They are the high society, the famous, the rich, the wealthy people who basically rule everything and own pretty much everything. There are exceptions, but they are the high society of this world and community. And the reason why they're the high society is because that every ancient artifact, which is our modern day, so to speak, they find, they have been no records of mutated animals, mutated humans, psi-animals, psi-humans, only humans, and thus it is believed that they are untainted from the big catastrophe that went down. So at the top we have high society humans, and below them we have, well, basically everyone else. We have mutated animals and mutated humans. Now, for a human, when I say human, I say non-mutated. For a human, they are the same thing. They are equally filth. They are workforce to be exploited. They work in the industrial areas, and it's filthy, and they get shit pay, which is a very big reason to go out on an adventure and seek your happiness and dare out in the zones where you can get killed by a huge bumblebee that mutated from, well, something. But yeah, the working class is the mutants and mutated animals. And if you ask the mutated animals and mutants, they are themselves not the same. They have very strong feelings about being lumped together. However, in the eyes of humans, that's exactly what they are. They are filth to be exploited. And as a mutated animal or human, you have a lot of abilities, so to speak, mutations, if you will. If you're a cat, like you have see in the dark, natural weapon claws and fangs. So even though they are actually more powerful than humans, so to speak, physically in most cases, they are still oppressed, and their abilities will often be used and told that they are just to here to work in the factory. Even though they can use these abilities to go out on adventures and find treasures and battle and have epic stories and adventures, which is, again, as I said before, what a lot of role player characters do. They start out in the cities or factories and they're like, fuck it, I want to make a better life for myself, I'm gonna go out to adventure. And that's the mutation abilities they have. Usually animals have a more thematic thing going on, because humans have no rhyme or reason. They can have everything from a oriental bump in the back like Quasimodo that makes them always point north, to eating grass, and they can be a mix and mash of everything. They can be absolutely terrifying, but that's up to the creation of the player if you want to have thematic or just random mutations. Now we're gonna come to something that the humans fear very deeply. Actually, I lied. Everyone fears these motherfuckers. So what I'm going to talk about are mentally mutated animals and mentally mutated humans. Basically, people with psi powers. Now, these are, in every sense of the word, glass cannons. These are people who possess psionic powers, and they are dangerous as all hell. They can be maybe the persecution towards them can be actually related to maybe the Jews during World War II in Germany. They are feared beyond everything, especially the mentally mutated humans, because they can blend into human society. Now, let's just say that you offend a psi mutant. Well, you start to feel a bit hot, everything is getting a bit warm. Oh, look at that. Your blood is boiling from the inside. Now, this is the stuff that the psi people can do, and it's absolutely fucking terrifying. They can dominate you to make you shoot yourself. They can have a cryokinesis, telekinesis, make flames out of a pair of the thin air, weather control. They're basically horrible if if provoked. But that also means that they are super feared in society and thus super oppressed. So most people, if not all, psi mutants keep that to themselves, because otherwise, they'd be pretty fucked and persecuted if it came out that they were, in fact, able to wield power beyond recognition. But yeah, in societal manners and setting-wise, they're very feared. However, you have to keep that shit secret down low as much as you possibly can, because they will be hunted by underground illegal organization called Psipo, even more so than mutated animals and humans, but that's because they're feared across the board by everyone, and rightfully so. Last but not least, we have the automatons, or robots, if you will. Now, these are relics from the ancient past, before the catastrophe, and most of them, or not most of them, it's a mix actually, but these can be everything from cleaner robots to detective robots. It could be anything from robots that just serve a function and do that, or people with personalities. And they're really interesting because they exist kind of outside of society. Now, usually, unless a robot has some sort of modification to it, it will have to do anything a human says. So, they're servants, and it's not really been a secret. If you encounter a robot of low grade or non-military grade, it will do anything you say if you're a human. But they exist outside of society. They're just part of everything and everyone, and no one minds them really. There's some people out there who want to scavenge them and take them apart. There are groups out there who wants to liberate all the robots. There is a place where robots can go, ruled by other robots, of course, that will liberate them and give them a mind of their own, if so please will. But it could be everything from washing machine to an atomic bomb thrower. So it's varied. So, they're kind of cool, and they got their own skills and things they can operate into themselves. Now, I haven't talked a lot about the zones and the wildlife, but imagine just basically Fallout with some minor changes here and there. I'll get more into it a bit later in the later episodes. And what the hell is this? What the the voice actor for one of the characters in the video game Mutant Year Zero just followed me on Twitter, and he is amazing. He's an English voice actor, and he sounds amazing. What the hell is this? Oh my god, why is he following me now? Oh, and he's following me right after I made this stupid joke to the fucking fan. I feel embarrassed now. Oh my god, this is so cool. I get too much attention from these people. But my god, imagine voice acting for that. My god, that would be so cool. But yeah, I'm gonna talk more about this. I'm also gonna talk about how this role-playing game impacted my life. a lot in an upcoming episodes. We'll see what I'll do first. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. And there are a lot more episodes and a lot more in-depth stuff coming. So can't wait to do work on that, and can't wait to hear what you guys think about it. Special thanks to my longtime friend and game master Rayman, who supplied me with summaries and information about the general world. He knows a lot more about it as a game master than I ever did. So special thanks to him, and he will be credited a lot more throughout these videos.